This is Garlene from the Kitchen Sink Shop, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do a simple bind off in your knitting. And this is my favorite way. It's a simple way, and if you do it correctly, it results in a really nice stretchy bind off, which is perfect for hats, sweaters, even socks and mitts. I use it unless the pattern calls for specifically for a different bind off, or if you want to do an I-cord, this is the one I go to every time. So basically when you're ready to bind off, you finished your knitting project, is you will have, you will knit your first stitch, and then what you do is you'll often hear in patterns, or you'll see it written, bind off in pattern. And all that means is that you knit or purl the stitches as they present themselves in your knitting. So often when you are binding off, you will have completed some ribbing. So that means that you will have knit and purl stitches on your needles. If it's all knit stitches, then you just knit them all. If it's all purl stitches, you would purl them all. But in this case, I'm binding off a sweater, so for the ribbing, I do have some knit and purl stitches. So the next stitch I have on my needle is purl. So I'm going to purl it as normal. And again, I knit English style, so I may knit a little bit differently from you, but that's okay. But basically you will knit or purl until you have 2 stitches only on the right hand needle. And then what you do is you simply slip, or you pass the rightmost stitch over the left hand stitch. The important thing to do is not to tighten it. You just want to let the stitch just slip over nicely and leave it like that. Don't tighten the yarn at all. The next stitch I have is a knit stitch, so I will knit that normally. Again, I have 2 stitches on my right hand needle, and then I will just pass this right stitch over the left stitch, and again, just let it lie loosely, not tightening it. Again, my next stitch is a purl, so I'm going to purl that stitch. And again, I will just very loosely slip this stitch over. You could just continue along that, and you'll see that this results in a really nice, stretchy bind off, but that's also not sloppy or not too loose. It looks really nice on both sides. It is important that you do, as I said, knit and purl as the stitches present themselves to get a nice looking clean edge like that. Once you get to the point where it's if this were your very last stitch, then you can pull up with your needle, pull up the yarn as much as you want, just to leave a long enough tail so that you'll be able to weave it in, and then you would just cut the yarn off here and then weave your end in.